My parents adopted a guy. He was quiet and cold, and obsessed with his pet snake. One day, the little snake slithered out of his room. I happened to be walking by, so I called out, "Hey, brother." He gave me a cold look and ignored me. So I knelt down, expertly scooped up the little snake, and planted a big kiss on it. The snake wobbled its head, looking dazed. But Louis, his face flushed bright red, snapped in frustration, "What are you doing?" I looked at him innocently. It's not the first time I've kissed him. He loves me. "Come here, little guy, let me give you some pets." Louis froze on the spot. A stream of comments flashed by. "LOL, our girl is saying the wildest things." "The male lead finally knows why he gets all hot and bothered in the shower. It's because our girl is always messing with his snake while he's in there. Not just kissing and cuddling, the little snake has even crawled inside her clothes. I can't even tell who the real perv is anymore." The real perv? Me? The day Louis arrived, I was lounging on the couch, eating watermelon. Mom and Dad told me to call him brother. I'd wanted a brother my whole life. I never thought my wish would finally come true when I was 16. And this brother was seriously handsome. I happily wiped my mouth, ran over to him, my eyes sparkling, and shouted, "Brother." The next second, a little black snake poked its head out of his bag, looked around, and finally fixed its gaze on me, flicking its tongue. I jumped. "A snake!" I yelled. Mom quickly explained, "That's your brother's pet. It's not venomous, and it doesn't bite. It's very well behaved. From now on, you two need to get along." I stared at his cool, handsome face and nodded eagerly. He was quiet, cold, and never smiled, preferring to stay holed up with his snake all day. But my boring summer vacation finally had a companion, and I wasn't about to let him go. I started following him around constantly. "Louis, watch TV with me." "Louis, let's play video games." "Louis, I want to go out." "Louis, I'm so bored. Tell me a story." Even though Louis had a cold personality, he'd always do what I asked. There was just one rule: I wasn't allowed near his snake. "Why can't I play with your snake?" Louis lowered his gaze. "Snakes aren't for playing with. But I want the little snake to sleep with me. It has its own bed." Seeing me pout, he added, "It's aggressive. It will bite you. Basically, don't touch it." But the more he told me not to, the more my rebellious streak kicked in. Tossing and turning one night, I came up with a great idea. I started sneaking into his room while he was in the shower to play with his snake. I treated it like a kitten, kissing and cuddling it. The snake would dizzyingly turn its head, affectionately nuzzling my arm, and sometimes it would even crawl inside my shirt. It was so cute. He was definitely just trying to scare me. I kept up my secret snake petting sessions for a while. He didn't find out, not even by the time school started. Then, Louis transferred into my class and immediately became the top student in our grade. He was smart and handsome, which started a lot of buzz. Girls from other classes would come by just to get a look at him. I'd puff up my chest and proudly introduce him, "That's my brother." "Jenna, since when do you have a brother?" I was a little vague. "A distant cousin, basically." "So, does he have a girlfriend?" "I don't think so. At least, I've never seen one." "Wow, can you give me his number?" The smile on my face froze for a second. Truth was, I didn't even have Louis's number. They thought I was just being stingy. One of them said, "Jenna, I can pay you. How about $500? I blinked. She immediately raised the price. 1,000. "I can do 2,000. Was this some rich kid slumming it at our school? My eyes lit up at the sight of the cash, and my face bloomed into a smile. "I'll get it for you tomorrow, honey." Seeing this, the other girls were too embarrassed to ask. That night, I stood by Louis's desk and got straight to the point. "My dearest, most favorite brother, let's add each other on socials." He glanced at me, his voice sharp with disapproval. So you can sell my number to someone else? Oh, you heard that? Well, hurry up and give it to me. It's $2,000. We can split it. No. Why not? Louis went back to his homework. I'm not interested in dating. I muttered, it's just adding someone, it's not like you're proposing. The answer is no. Humph, I accused him, so you won't let her add you, and you won't let me add you either? I'll add you. But you can't give my info to anyone else. After we scanned each other's phones, I couldn't resist asking one more time, she's really pretty, you know. It wouldn't be a loss. Louis's voice was cold. Get out. I never realized he could be so harsh. I started giving him the silent treatment on purpose. And he didn't talk to me either. We were at a stalemate for a week, until the little snake escaped from his room. I was just passing by and figured I was also in the wrong, so I decided to break the ice and call out, "Brother." He gave me a cold look and completely ignored me. I knelt down, expertly scooped up the little snake, and smooched it. The snake wobbled its head, looking dazed. But Louis, his face bright red, sputtered in frustration, "What are you doing?" I feigned innocence. It's not the first time I've kissed him. I have a great time playing with the little snake whenever you're in the shower. He clearly likes me. Come here, little guy, let me give you some pets. Louis was petrified on the spot. A stream of comments flashed by. LMAO, our girl is saying the wildest things. Ha ha ha, the male lead finally knows why he gets all hot and bothered in the shower. It's because our girl is always messing with his snake during that time. Not just kissing and cuddling, the little snake has even crawled inside her clothes. Can't even tell who the real perv is anymore. The real perv? Me? You can pet and kiss and cuddle a kitten. Why not a little snake? Aren't they both pets? I even had to give my kitten away for him to keep his snake. Humph. What's the big deal if I want to pet it? And where were these weird comments coming from anyway? But I noticed the look on Louis's face and asked with concern, "Louis, why is your face so red?" He furiously snatched the snake back and slammed the door with a bang. After that, he even started taking the snake into the bathroom with him when he showered. Who was he hiding it from? Such a mystery. I was so annoyed I had to laugh. I was done trying to talk to him. I stopped walking to and from school with him. But I couldn't escape the people around me constantly bugging me. Jenna, what kind of girls does your brother like? What does he like to do in his free time? Your brother seems so cold, but that's exactly my type. Can you give this love letter to your brother for me? I got so sick of it that I finally snapped, "Louis and I have disowned each other." What? Did you guys have a fight? We're just done. That was easy to say, but at night, we still had to sit at the same table for dinner. And it was just the two of us. My parents are busy with work, traveling all over the country, so they're almost never home. We have a housekeeper who cooks and cleans. I just focused on my food. He finally spoke up. Are you mad at me? Took you long enough to notice. I said stubbornly, why would I be? Then I started listing off all his crimes without missing a beat. Even though you yelled at me, kicked me out of your room, slammed the door in my face, ignored me when I called you brother, and forbid me from playing with my pet. I'm the bigger person, so I'm not mad. I pulled my hand back and shot him a look. Louis said, what will it take for you to forgive me? As I was thinking, he said, I can tutor you. Your last test scores weren't that great. Tutor me, fine, but did he have to take a shot at me? Still, I wasn't about to turn down free tutoring from the top student. Fine. Your room. Okay. First, Louis confiscated my phone. Start with these problems. Ask me if you don't understand something. Then he started going over my old tests to see where I made mistakes. He went into detailed explanations for the concepts I didn't get. Once, twice. He asked, "Got it now?" I nodded vaguely. "I think so." He immediately put a similar problem in front of me. "Here. Show me." I got halfway through and then got stuck. I looked up at him. Lewis's eyes narrowed. "You need to focus." A comment appeared. If I couldn't see the screen, I'd totally think this was about something else. "What's all this doing it, talk, oh, wait, they're doing homework." I found that strange. What else would we be doing? "Lewis, not everyone gets things after hearing them twice like you do. You have to accept that people like me exist, people who aren't good at everything. Can't you have a little patience?" Lewis looked up. "If you zoned out less and spent less time chatting with your deskmate in class, you wouldn't be having this much trouble." "Wow, I didn't know you paid so much attention to me. Let's go over it again. Listen carefully." After that, Lewis made a study plan for me. Sometimes, to push me, if there was a problem I couldn't solve, he wouldn't let me go to sleep. "It's the weekend. I'll stay up with you." I gave him a pitiful look. Then, "Can you explain it to me one more time, Lewis?" Thankfully, all the hard work paid off. When the monthly exam results came out, my rank had shot up. I was so happy I ate an extra bowl of rice at dinner. I decided to push my luck. "Come on, praise me." Then I changed my mind. "Actually, never mind. Just let me pet the little snake. I haven't played with him in so long, Lewis." Lewis stared at me, his eyes dark. A comment popped up. "Ha ha 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 ha, I can't, I'm dying of laughter." "Babe, you gotta stop saying these wild things. I can't wait to see her face when she finds out the male lead and the snake share the same senses." Ugh, why is this set in high school? I want to see the spicy stuff. Share senses? For real? That just made me want to try it more. I grabbed his sleeve and pleaded, "Lewis, you promised. You said if I did well on my exams, I'd get a reward." He finally relented. "No kissing." "Fine, fine." As I held the little snake again, it flicked its tongue out and licked my cheek. Then it pecked me on the corner of my mouth before Lewis snapped at it. The little snake leaned against me, looking hurt, tilting its head and rubbing against my cheek like a sad puppy. I couldn't help but defend it. "Why are you being so mean to it?" Where exactly were their senses connected that he was so protective? His arm? His leg? His whole body? I glanced at Lewis. He had his head down and suddenly turned his back to me. While I was distracted, the snake took its chance and slithered up my arm, trying to get inside my shirt again. Lewis stopped it. "That's enough. You can go now." Kicking me out again. Unbelievable. This time I wasn't leaving. I pressed him. "Why?" "I want to study some more." Lewis's voice was a little hoarse. Later. When I went to find him again, Lewis had already showered and was back to his usual cool self. Lewis was explaining the problems I got wrong on the test. I studied his face for a moment, then suddenly asked, "Lewis, what kind of girls do you like?" Lewis frowned, and I thought he was about to scold me for not paying attention again. But instead, he asked, "Are you asking for yourself, or for someone else? What's the difference?" Our eyes met, and he tapped my head lightly. "Then what crazy ideas are you getting in your head? Can't I gossip a little?" "No." Lewis could be a little harsh, but my grades were steadily improving. This continued until our senior year. I went from being a C student to ranking in the top 30 of our grade. Oh, I forgot to mention, Lewis had already been accepted to Tsinghua. He spent all his time figuring out how to teach me. My desk was piled high with notes and practice tests he'd made. He went over key points again and again, graded my tests, and circled difficult problems and common mistakes. Before, I was a total slacker, just hoping to get into any four-year college. But Lewis's dedication made it clear he was trying to get me into a top school. The pressure was insane. I wished I could split myself in two just to absorb all the knowledge. Amid the drone of summer cicadas, the college entrance exams were finally over. At the graduation party, I was so happy that I had a few too many drinks. Later, feeling the booze, I went crazy, grabbing onto Louis, getting handsy, pinching his cheeks, touching his hands, and even kissing his Adam's apple. I couldn't help but giggle. "You're so handsome." The key thing was, he didn't push me away. I pushed my luck and went for his abs, but he caught my wrist. He asked, "Do you have any idea what you're doing?" My head was spinning. I wrapped my arms around his neck, looked at his soft red lips, and said with a leer, "I want to kiss you." The next day, I woke up with a jolt. As the memories came flooding back, I wanted to bang my head against the wall. But I couldn't remember if we actually kissed. Louis definitely would have stopped me, right? I was too embarrassed to ask, so I decided to play dumb and pretend it never happened. At the breakfast table, I put on an act. "I drank way too much last night, I don't remember a thing." "I didn't do anything crazy, did I?" Louis's eyes were unreadable as he looked at me. After a long moment, he finally said, "No." "Oh, good." I immediately looked down and focused on my food, letting out a silent sigh of relief. Later, I got into a good university in Beijing, as I'd hoped. It was just across the street from Louis's school, Tsinghua. Since he had to bring his snake, he had to rent an apartment off campus. So I just moved in with him. He no longer stopped me from playing with the little snake and even let me sleep with it. Though I was always scared I'd crush it. The snake, however, had a habit of crawling into my bed in the middle of the night. One weekend, the long-dormant live comments appeared again. "Actually, snakes aren't like cats. They like it when you squeeze their tails." I was in the living room watching a show, and I immediately grabbed the little snake, who was snoozing in a coil next to me. I gave it a try. The snake blinked its innocent eyes at me. Didn't seem to do anything special. A little higher up. Yes, right there. Don't miss either side. The snake suddenly let out a hiss and squirmed towards me. "Rub it a little." "Kiss it." I stopped at the kissing part. This spot felt weird. Normally, shouldn't this be? I flipped the snake over. It scurried backwards, looking rather shy, but I grabbed it again. Just as I was about to investigate further, the bathroom door opened. Louis, flushed from the steam and with just a towel wrapped around his waist, came out and scooped the snake off the couch. "Go take a shower, we're about to run out of hot water." With that interruption, I completely forgot about the whole thing. After starting college, even more girls started going after Louis. When I was waiting for him, I'd often see girls trying to talk to him. I even saw people asking about him on our university's social media pages. I didn't go around announcing he was my brother like I did in high school. When we were walking on the crowded campus, I'd actually keep my distance, afraid people would get the wrong idea about our relationship. One evening, Louis invited me to his department's gala. I was sitting in the front row, watching him and the equally brilliant and beautiful female host speak confidently on stage. I could hear other students whispering around me. "They look so perfect together. So are the rumors true or not? Are they actually dating? I see them eating together and going to class together all the time. They're probably just one step away from making it official." For real? Last night after their rehearsal, Louis walked Chloe all the way back to her dorm, even though he doesn't even live on campus. What do you think? I felt a bit dazed. I looked at the two of them on stage again, a handsome guy and a beautiful girl, a perfect pair. He had come home really late last night. He even brought me a late-night snack. How come he never told me he had a girl he liked? A wave of emotion washed over me, and my chest felt tight. I sent Louis a text and left early. I ended up getting a little lost and was passing the basketball court when a stray ball flew out and hit me. "Hey, are you okay?" Under the night sky, I looked up angrily and froze when I saw who it was. It was Kyle, my old neighbor from elementary school who I used to fight with all the time. His family moved to another city, and we lost touch. He looked stunned. You go to Tsinghua too? He asked. What a tone. So full of himself. No. Then what are you doing here? I go to the school next door. Just sneaking in to hang out, is that a problem? Of course not. Hey, are you hurt? Let me see. He pulled me under a streetlight, bent down, and looked me over carefully, ruffling my hair. That must have hurt. Hope it didn't knock you silly. I pushed him away. It hurt like hell. You owe me. Kyle grabbed my arm. Come on, let's go to the hospital and get it checked out. I'll take responsibility. Turns out, I was fine before we even got to the hospital. But following the since we're here anyway principle, Kyle insisted I get checked out. After confirming I was okay, he said he had to treat me to a meal to apologize. I didn't hold back. After the barbecue and crawfish were on the table, Kyle put on a pair of gloves and started peeling shrimp while mumbling, Hey, why'd you unfriend me back in the day? I could never add you back. I even went back to your old house to find you, but you guys had moved. Why were you looking for me? He was blunt and straightforward. I missed you, duh. I lifted my eyes, but my gaze drifted to a group of people who had just walked into the restaurant. Louis was one of them. Chloe was laughing and talking to him. Louis tilted his head slightly, a gentle look in his eyes and a smile on his lips. My heart clenched. Kyle pushed a plate of peeled shrimp toward me. Here, eat them while they're hot. I pulled my gaze back, surprised. You're peeling shrimp for me? Wow, you've really changed your tune. The old Kyle loved to argue with me and tease me. He couldn't go a day without bugging me. I was immature back then. I'm grown up now. Now that I've finally found you again, of course I have to make it up to you. I snorted. Glad you know you were wrong. Suddenly, a voice came from above me. Jenna, I thought you said you weren't feeling well and went home? It was Louis. Kyle looked confused. I explained, my brother. He nodded, then looked confused again. Wait, what brother? Louis sat down next to me and replied, It's just a title. We're not related by blood. The atmosphere turned silent for a moment. I blinked slowly, quickly trying to change the subject. Louis, aren't you eating with them? Louis glanced at me sideways. Louis? I just suddenly felt that calling him brother was a bit too intimate. Thankfully, he didn't press the issue. Louis paid the bill. As we were about to part ways, Kyle suddenly ruffled my hair again. I'll treat you to something good next time, then. You're in the school next door, right? I'll come find you. Louis pulled open the car door, his voice a little chilly as he called me, Get in. Back at the apartment, I had to explain everything all over again. After confirming I wasn't hurt, Louis's expression was still sour. He went back to his room in silence. After that day, Kyle really did start coming to find me all the time. He'd take me out to eat or we'd just hang out. Sometimes he'd even sit in on classes at my school. His reasoning was, we're from the same hometown, we've got to stick together. One day, he bought 2 bottles of water and shoved them in my hands. I've got a basketball game later. If we win, you can come give me a water. If we lose, don't bother. Halfway through the game, I saw Kyle's team getting completely demolished. I couldn't help but cringe. Wasn't he usually a decent player? I asked someone next to me and found out the other team had brought in ringers, guys from the athletics department. No wonder they couldn't win. So this water. I picked the flavor I liked, twisted the cap off, and started drinking. Unsurprisingly, Kyle lost. He took a quick shower first, then came over looking dejected. Jenna, my heart is colder than a Beijing winter right now. I offered some fake comfort. It's okay, you're a winner in my heart. That's so lame. Well, what do you want then? He leaned down, wrapped his arms around me, and buried his head in my shoulder. Just let me hug you for a minute. The gym lights were bright, the air filled with the squeak of sneakers and the thud of basketballs. My mind went blank. Just as I was about to push him away, a voice cut through the noise. Jenna. It was cold, devoid of any warmth. He yanked me out of Kyle's arms. Lewis's voice was low in my ear. What are you two doing? I tried to explain, but Kyle cut me off. I lost the game, she's just comforting me. I wasn't asking you. Then, to me, come home with me. Kyle grabbed my hand, refusing to let go. I know you live with them, and she calls you brother, but don't you think you're being a little overprotective? It's her freedom to be with whoever she wants. At the end of the day, I've known her longer than you have. It's not so clear who the real outsider is here. As his words fell, Lewis looked at me and let out a sudden laugh. Outsider? He let go of my arm, turned, and strode away. I chased him out of the gym, but Kyle stopped me again. I watched as Lewis got farther and farther away. I couldn't help but yell at Kyle, "What is wrong with you? Why would you talk to my brother like that? And who gave you permission to hug me?" Kyle looked hurt and said pitifully, "I can't even give you a hug. Why are you always so mean to me? Stop it. Don't pull that act with me." Kyle suddenly took my hand and placed a jade pendant in my palm. Well, since we're on the topic, I'll just say it. I like you. I tried to give the pendant back. I don't like you. He wouldn't take it. If you like me, this is a confession gift. If you don't like me, then it's a birthday present. My birthday was months ago. Kyle huffed. So? I wasn't there to celebrate with you. What's wrong with a late gift? Kyle, I said, frowning, I don't like blurring the lines with friends, so you should take this back. I don't want things to get so awkward we can't even be friends anymore. Kyle knew me too well. Jenna, I just confessed to you. Can you really still be friends with me? He stared at my face. All these years, I haven't dated anyone. And I've tried to find you several times. I don't want this to be the end for us. Give me a chance, okay? I just looked at him. Kyle leaned in, gritted his teeth, and hugged me again. Jenna, if you couldn't see me anymore, would you really be okay with that? The more I pushed, the tighter he held on. His voice took on a pleading tone. Jenna, don't push me away. People were walking by. Let me think about it. He finally let go, but at the last second, he stole a kiss on my cheek. Kyle, are you pushing your luck? Sorry, you're just too cute. I couldn't help myself. He took my hand and made me slap his cheek with it. I stomped my foot in frustration. You try that again. Okay, babe, I'm sorry. I'll take you home. Don't call me babe, we're not there yet. Oh. I swear, it was like Kyle didn't understand English. He was all over me in the car for a while longer. I got fed up and punched him. He just chuckled. Don't forget to think about me. Who'd want to think about you? Kyle just shrugged it off, put the pendant around my neck, and ruffled my hair. I really don't want to leave you. I wish I could live with you. I glared at him. He finally behaved. I'll pick you up tomorrow. When I got back to the apartment, I knocked on Lewis's door. He looked like a storm cloud was hanging over his head, ready to drown me. I whispered his name, Lewis. He glanced up, his eyes empty of any emotion, and then closed the door in my face. For the next few days, he actively avoided me. Even though we lived under the same roof, I barely saw him. I forced the little snake to stay awake with me until the middle of the night, just to corner him. Lewis, why have you been mad at me for so long? Lewis looked exhausted. I'm not mad. It's late, you should get some sleep. He was refusing to communicate. Kyle, as usual, came to see me every day. He insisted on calling me babe, and eventually, I just gave up and let him. He'd often bring me little gifts or a bouquet of flowers when we met. I was always happy when I was with him. I didn't have to worry about anything. He was warm and forward, and my resolve started to waver. But I had to admit, I had feelings for Louis. The night before winter break. Louis was sitting on the sofa, swirling a glass of wine, looking incredibly down. The snake was curled up nearby. I froze for a second, then rushed over. "Louis, what's wrong?" He looked up at me, his eyes dark, then looked back down at his glass. I got anxious and snatched the glass from his hand. The glass hit the table with a sharp clink. Louis seemed to snap out of it. He stood up, about to go to his room. I blocked his way. "What happened?" Then I ventured a guess. "Did you get your heart broken?" Louis's shoulders slumped as he stared into my eyes. "So, you two are really together?" The topic suddenly shifted to me, and I didn't know how to react. Louis's lips twisted into a humorless smile, as if in surrender. "If you're worried about people getting the wrong idea, then I should be the one to move out, not you. And if you don't like calling me brother, you don't have to force it. Just use my name from now on." I was the one who had suggested moving back into the dorms next semester. He had someone he liked. It wasn't right for us to live together anymore. But why, now that he'd agreed, did my heart feel so tight and sour? His bedroom door closed. The little snake immediately slithered over and wrapped around my leg. I picked up the snake and sat on the sofa. I grabbed the wine bottle and started drinking straight from it. I ended up getting drunk and even gave the snake a little. It got so tipsy it kept bumping its head against my arm. Louis opened his bedroom door to find one human and one snake passed out on the sofa. He couldn't help but frown. He tried to carry me back to my room. But drunk me latched onto him. "Brother, don't leave me." Louis let out a bitter laugh. "Who's leaving who?" I held onto him and wouldn't let go. "You are." His voice was a low whisper in my ear. "Are you just going to keep leading me on like this? Are you going to wake up tomorrow and claim you don't remember any of this again?" His mumbling was getting on my nerves. I frowned, looked at his face, and just kissed him. The moment our lips met, my phone's flash went off. I squinted my eyes as the kiss deepened. The next day, that photo was on my phone. With a simple message, "Come out when you're awake." This time, I remembered everything. As I opened my bedroom door, I prepared myself for judgment. Louis asked, "You remember last night this time, right?" "I remember." "So, tell me. What was that all about?" I sat down next to him. "I just drank too much." Kissing me over and over, saying all sorts of crazy things. "Jenna, are you really going to try and brush me off with, I was drunk?" I muttered under my breath, "Why didn't you push me away?" "I was drunk, but you weren't. And besides, he was the one who kissed me back later." The long-lost live comments popped up right then, reinforcing my suspicions. He liked me. But I couldn't help but ask out loud, "Don't you like Chloe?" Louis frowned. "Who told you that?" At the gala that night, everyone was saying it. He seemed stunned. "So that's why you left early that day?" I nodded. "I don't like her. We have no relationship beyond normal social interaction. If you cared about that, why didn't you just ask me?" I said miserably, "What right did I have to ask?" "As your sister?" Louis pulled me into his arms. "We can't be brother and sister anymore. But we could be a couple." I didn't feel any joy at his words. Instead, my brow furrowed even deeper. "Then what about Kyle?" Louis's lips tightened in displeasure, and the air grew cold. The live chat started spouting crazy ideas. Only kids make choices. Adults take them all. Just 3 of them, he. Alright, we've finally switched to our favorite channel. Time to get spicy. The cheerful puppy and the grumpy, cold guy. Jenna, this is your destiny. So all that misunderstanding drama was just to set up the big bang later on. But, aren't there just 2 of them? Where did 3 come from? Louis tilted my chin up. You seem to care a lot about him. You'd abandon me for him. He placed a light kiss on my lips. But we've already kissed. I steeled myself. He and we've kissed too. That night, he had pressed me against the car and kissed me. He said he was afraid I'd forget him as soon as I got home, so he had to leave his mark. It was already too late. My heart wasn't pure. My love for either of them wasn't pure enough. Rage flared in Louis's eyes. He sneered, "You're really something. You only kiss me when you're drunk. But with him, you have no inhibitions, is that it? I'm giving you one choice. End it with him." A comment appeared. Ha ha ha, what a classic domineering CEO line. Calling it a choice when there's only one option. I'm dead. Jenna's confused and speechless face is so cute. Dude, a man needs to be more open-minded. Getting all jealous is not a good look. You gotta learn to be like a man, eat what's in your bowl while eyeing what's on the table and thinking about what's in the pot. Love them as they come. Open your mind, ladies. That's nonsense. Our girl is a true romantic. She's only ever liked 2 guys. If the male lead hadn't been such an idiot, it would have just been him. Just then, Kyle called. Louis answered it and held the phone out to me. I didn't take it. He sneered and snatched the phone back. Hey. Stop calling her. We're together now. If you understand, then get lost. He hung up. Jenna, you've messed with me so many times. How can you not take responsibility for me? I was going to let you go, but you're the one who walked right back into my life. Now, whether you accept that I'm a snake spirit or not, you're mine. With that, he bit my neck. I've marked you. If you leave me, I'll die. I was stunned. I touched my neck. It didn't hurt much. What do you mean? Louis gave a wry smile. Haven't those trashy comments explained it to you yet? Right, they love being vague and leading you on, just so they can see the drama they want. He took my hand and guided it from his chest downwards. Then let me show you myself. My eyes widened. Louis was not like other guys. I finally understood what the chat meant by 3 of them. My face instantly turned beet red, and I shoved him away. He explained, that snake is an extension of me. We share senses. You knew that, right? You knew, and you still kept teasing me. Don't you think you owe it to me to take responsibility? I was speechless. When Louis first came to our family, my parents just said his parents died in a car crash and they'd kindly adopted him. But the truth was, he was a snake spirit. And my parents were guardians, hired by the spirit world for a hefty sum. The reason they were always so busy, traveling and moving to different cities, was to find other rare spirits. To work for spirits all over the country. Louis's clan had suffered a tragedy, and as the sole heir, he needed a place to hide. My parents took the job. And just like that, Louis became my brother. No wonder they kept telling me to be patient and gentle with him, to basically worship him. He was the client. A thought struck me. So you're super rich? If I become a guardian, will I get super rich too? A potential career path for a college grad. Louis pressed his forehead against mine. You only have to guard me. I'll give you endless wealth. My eyes couldn't help but sparkle for a moment before I suppressed it. For real? He kissed me and handed me a black card. No limit. It's yours. Now I believed him. Louis's voice was muffled by a series of soft kisses. I only have one task for you. Love me forever. Before packing up to go home, I snuck downstairs. I met with Kyle in secret. Just as I braced myself to explain everything, he hugged me tightly. Babe, I know everything. Huh? Turns out the live chat had jumped between channels and filled him in. No wonder it was so sporadic. But I don't care. As long as you love me and want me, that's enough. Kyle looked at me and said slowly, since you can't leave Lewis, I'm willing to join you. I won't use anything to pressure you. My heart is much bigger than a certain someone's. As long as you show me a little favoritism, I'm willing to put up with anything. So, if you have any other worries, you can tell me. I don't want my baby to be troubled by this stuff. As long as I can be with you, even if I can't have you all to myself, I'm willing. The chat was very proud of itself. See? We trained him so well. Explained the whole situation, so our girl doesn't have to say a thing. She just has to enjoy having one on each arm. Babe, we wanted to solve all your problems for you, so we took care of it ahead of time. I said. Well, thanks for that. Whatever. This is how it's going to be. But just as I hugged Kyle, a cold laugh came from behind me. Lewis, his face dark, pulled me back. Did you not understand me? Is it that hard to break up with him? And you, he said to Kyle, urging her to come down in the middle of the night. Did you even think about her safety? I tugged on his sleeve. I wanted to come down myself. The more you defend him, the angrier I get. I wisely shut my mouth. Lewis was genuinely furious. It took me a long time to calm him down. He couldn't accept the presence of another man. Love makes people jealous and possessive. And you live commenters can get lost. This is our business, and you have no say in it. The chat went silent after being told off. I took a deep breath, hugged him, and kissed him for a while. His anger slowly subsided. He pulled me into his arms. Isn't it enough to just have me? I can give you anything. When Kyle and I both asked you out, you chose him. And that other time, when he said it wasn't clear who the real outsider was, you stood by his side. His voice cracked. It's a terrible feeling. I don't want to feel it again. If I agree to let him stay in your life, I'm afraid I'll be the one who isn't chosen. My heart ached with a dull pain. I explained, it's not like that. Back then, I thought you liked someone else, so I was deliberately avoiding you. And I wasn't on his side. I just couldn't catch up to you. Lewis, you've always been important to me. From the very beginning, you've been one of a kind. In the spreading silence, Lewis finally responded with a soft, okay. When we went home for the holidays, I was surprised to see Kyle had followed us. He was whining and holding my hand. My parents are busy with work. They're staying abroad for the holidays this year. I'm so pathetic. I'm going to be all alone in an empty house, eating alone, spending the holidays alone. Jenna, please take me in, okay? I looked at Lewis. He didn't say anything, just strode forward. I hurried to catch up and took his hand. Only then did he slow down. Kyle wanted me to hold his hand too. But we were in public. I had to be mindful of what people would think. He was hurt and sulked the rest of the way. Once we were home, I secretly comforted him a bit and picked out a room for him. Kyle finally cheered up. He wandered around the house. Babe, which room is yours? Can I come play in your room? The little snake watched him warily, blocking my bedroom door like a guard, refusing to let him in. All right, that's enough. I picked up the little snake and went to find Lewis. Lewis, are you mad? He glanced at the man who had followed me to his doorway, then simply shut the door. He pressed me against it and kissed me, his words muffled between breaths. I'm willing to compromise because I love you. But Jenna, you have to remember to make it up to me. Love forgives everything. And breaks all the rules.